All right, guys, welcome to the first episode of Chalk Talk. This is Crystal's idea.
It actually wasn't. It was like, you know what? I think we have to shout out Anthony, who gave us the idea for the name. What's the point? The purpose of this podcast is just for us to be able to speak to the audience in a more long form conversation. We definitely wanted to have one, a creative outlet, and two, the ability to have conversations that are longer than what's an Instagram reel, like 90 seconds.
Yeah.
So I think this will be the outlet for that.
A lot of stories we can tell you over the time about how we started the business. We figured that's good for our first episode, the origin story of both of our businesses and how it came to be 4 or 5 years later.
Right.
So that's a good place to start.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So let's start. On today's episode of Origin Stories, we are going to be talking about ourselves, our lives, our own personal career paths, and then how we came to be here. So let's start with you. How did you know you wanted to be a trainer?
So I was in the corporate world for a while, like 2 years. That was a while for me. I was always a gym rat. Got tired of the politics with the banking world and corporate life after going to school for finance. And then a lot of my friends were trainers. They were in the industry. And what they were making per hour was pretty appealing versus what I was making per hour downtown. So definitely had a passion for fitness, made the jump, quit my job, started to become a trainer, and started to really take a liking for it.
Nice.
Cool. It was way more rewarding than, working as a corporate, I don't want to say number, way more rewarding instead of working in the corporate world.
Yeah. You're like, I don't want to say number. And I was like, I was going to say rat. A rat in the rat race.
Yeah. For me, that just wasn't it, right? I got tired of the go train rides in the morning. Yeah. The rat race wasn't for me. So,
fair enough. Yeah. What was your first job as a trainer?
I was at Good Life for a month. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, because I had a few friends working there. And after that, I went to a couple independent gyms. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Good shit. How I started, mine is a little bit of a longer story. Once upon a time, I had Asian parents. And they wanted me to be a doctor. And so I went to university. I took biology. I suck at my type of knowledge is more hands-on. Like if I can touch it, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So university was so hard and depressing, all theory. And I went to U of T as well. So there's a lot of competition or so they say. It's very elitist, it's hard to make friends, or maybe I'm bad at making friends. I only like fucking
maybe just
weirdos.
No one wanted to be your friend.
Yeah, no. They're oh fuck, it's that girl, which also makes sense. Anyways, no friends and bad at school, and then I finished, and then my grades were so poor that I was trying to maybe be a chiro or something. I was there's no way that I could possibly get into any kind of. I'm not getting into higher education after this. I'm just not. It's not working. I'm not smart enough. So I did a solo backpacking trip, eat, pray, love my way around Europe, and really just came back to massage.
Sick.
So ultimately, with my biology background, it was really helpful for massage school. And I ended up really enjoying it. I think ultimately, when you're choosing a career and you're 18 or whatever, you have all these ideas about what the world is like, what you want your life to look like. Oh, I want to be a doctor. I want to have stability. I want lots of money. And then you get to it and you're that's really not feasible. This isn't for me. It's for a lot of people.
Not for you. Yeah.
But it's not for me.
Yeah, I hear you on that. My parents had aspirations for me too. My dad's an accountant, so I was on the track for that in finance. And then I just couldn't deal with, like I said, the corporate world. And I remember when I quit my job, I told my parents, I think a week after I handed my 2 weeks in, and I told them my plans to be a personal trainer. And my mom said, that's not a real job. And yeah, me and my mom, we always go back and forth with each other. So I was I'll show you. I can make this a living.
Yeah.
And thankfully I was able to.
Amazing.
But yeah, I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
It's not a real job.
That's not a real job.
Yeah.
One time, and my dad doesn't remember we had this conversation, but I came home from I was in my first year of being an RMT. Yeah. I was exhausted. And my dad said something oh, like you can't be that tired. It's not like you use your brain at work.
Yeah, you just use your hands. You just rub people down.
I was like, yep, that's true, Dad. I just touch people. I don't do troubleshooting or problem solving at all.
Yeah, you just rub people down.
Yeah.
That's good.
Just lube them up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second
Next question. How do we meet?
We went to school together. Yeah. We went to elementary school together. Yeah.
Yes.
So we started plotting the business.
As babies.
Yes. Yeah. Taking over the world in kindergarten. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think we knew each other until we worked at Strengthen You.
Yeah.
But I remember I met you. I introduced myself at Good Life, and you were doing cardio. I don't think you remember this.
No.
And I was like, I think I went to school with you, or Pope, because we went to high school with each other too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I think I said hi to you on the treadmill, but you were just not having it. I was like, hey, I think I went to school with you. You're like, okay, cool. And you just left.
I did that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Remember.
I remember this because I was like at Extreme Fitness at the time. I think you were on the treadmill. I'm like, you look really familiar. I think you went to Pope. You're like, yeah, I did. And I was like, so did I. I'm like,
funny.
No way. And then you just dipped. I'm like,
and then I was like,
cool.
Don't fucking talk to me.
Pervert.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, I didn't come to the gym to make friends.
Oh, yeah. You had the headphones on. I was just like, I think you went to Pope. You're like, I did. I'm like, cool. At least I was right.
Yeah. You know, it's funny when it was Extreme, I would go with my parents. So I was probably thinking, my dad's here. He's going to ask me who that guy was. I don't want to have to answer that question.
Fair enough.
Excuse me.
But yeah, we definitely met at Strengthen You. That's when everything started to click. So
yeah. So I think that's really funny because we have basically had a lifetime of having met each other and then remeeting.
Yeah.
Because like I'm so terrible with names and faces, and also like ew.
You too. You too.
Like ew, yucky boys. No, but like we met at Strengthen You, and you're very much the kind of person who's like welcoming, inviting, like, hey, welcome to the team. We're going out for dinner after, we're going out for drinks after. Do you want to come? And that's how we became friends in my mind.
Yeah.
But if we rewind, we went to elementary school together.
Yeah.
We went to high school, the same high school for 2 years. What time? When did you leave?
Yeah, for 2 years. So
yeah. And I'm a year younger, so we would have only
1 year crossing paths.
But because you are a single year older, I never felt that we moved in the same stream. Because like if I'm in grade 7 and you're in grade 8, for example, like the grade 8 boys are like untouchable. Like they're so cool.
One whole year.
They're just like, they know everything. They like, you know, they drive. They have like facial hair. But yeah, that's kind of funny. And then in Pope as well, like I was in the IB program, and we're very much like corralled into a separate pen of people. And like, I feel really bad because now as an adult, random people, like this morning at the yoga studio, this girl was like, did I go to high school with you? And I was like,
maybe. It's a long time ago. Yeah.
I'm always just like, yeah, maybe, like, I guess, you know. And then thankfully I remembered her name like last minute. I hope she doesn't see this.
Your first viewer. Yeah.
Because she was like, she had come in and the light was behind her and she was just a shadowy figure. And I was like, oh, hey, yeah, you, like, how are you? Whatever, you know. But like, I think that it is very interesting, if you want to believe in like fate or whatever, that we have all of these like intersecting points of our life.
The paths. Yeah. And a funny story, I was in the IB program as well for grade 9. They let me in.
They kicked you out though.
No. So I was in IB for whole of grade 9, or maybe half of it. And it's it required a lot of French, obviously. I couldn't do the French. It was just like, man, I'm really not. I didn't put the effort in to learn it.
You're like, croissant, that's all you got.
My buddy Francis, he was also in IB, but he was also thinking about quitting. Mr. Corey, he met with Mr. Corey?
Yeah.
He met with Francis because he was thinking about quitting, and he's trying to talk Francis out of quitting because he's like, no, this program's good, you're doing well.
Yeah.
When I wanted to leave IB, Mr. Corey just like, all right, sign here, boom, stamp. You're done. Peace.
Okay, bye.
See you around.
See you later. Never believed in you in the first place.
Oh, I feel so much better. He's gone. Yeah.
Thank God.
So I was in IB for 1 year, or
That's
half a year,
awesome.
if I can remember.
Yeah.
And then I went back to normal
That's
high
so
school
funny.
education. Then I moved to Ajax in a
Yeah.
different high school.
For the viewers, IB, which is not as popular as I thought, it stands for like International Baccalaureate. And I think it's like, personally, I think it's really pretentious. But the idea is that you are able to take like university courses at a high school level. So like, I think in grade 12, all of your courses are university level, and then you take exams.
Mhm.
And if you pass the exam, you get a university credit.
Yeah, wow.
Which was crazy because
Yeah.
I actually got a university English credit.
Damn.
But then due to
Doo-doo.
That's
That's good.
the whole episode.
The poop emoji goes here. That's good.
That should not make us laugh that hard.
We're mature. We're adults.
We're grown.
That's so funny.
Due to some kind of clerical error or some type of paperwork wasn't sent to my university,
Oh,
I
boy.
didn't get it. I was like,
Livid. Yeah.
what was the point? Like, what was the actual point of me not having a social life at all for essentially 4 years? Like, I think my most meaningful high school memory
Mhm.
was, I was like, all right, sick, got home, had a snack. Now I get to do calculus for 3 hours.
Nice.
And that's one subject. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of
I
fucking
did nothing
time.
for nothing.
Yeah.
For nothing. I was upset. Tell me the story. Tell me the story of how we decided to open our own business.
Yes.
Once
So-
upon a time.
Yeah, once upon a time during COVID. Very strange times.
Mm.
Pretty much the gym I was working at, like all gyms, was kind of shut down on and off,
Mm.
where there was different rules. You could train a certain amount of class sizes.
Yes.
So I had family that was really in bad health and bad shape during the time. So I had really started taking clients at home. So I was training them in my garage more or less.
Mm.
And Crystal was one of those clients.
Yeah. That was
Squatting in the, in the
Yes.
winter in my garage was good times.
yeah. Oh, I think my favorite thing was doing sled
Mhm.
on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I got videos of that. Yeah, I want
That's
to probably,
brutal.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the slam ball tosses.
Yeah.
So just like picking up pieces of equipment wherever I could
Mm.
through the COVID times because everything was so scarce.
Mhm.
But yeah, and I had really made the move in my head that I wanted to become independent and get a space and figure it out, even though COVID was this weird time.
Mhm.
And you were also at the point in your career, you're like, I don't really want to work for anyone anymore.
Yeah.
Want a better split. And the move looked like for you to become an independent therapist.
Yeah.
And then we found, I mean, I think this was the second space I saw.
Mhm.
It wasn't even on the market yet, but previously I was scouring the market. I had probably emailed 20 to 30 different agents for listings. So I was I was working part-time.
That's nuts.
So I was really grinding out to find a space. I found this space. It was a dry cleaners before. It wasn't even on the market, but the realtor was really open to letting me see it because he said they still had to clean it up.
Oh,
And
nice.
So I saw when all this stuff was in here, and I was the first person to see it, and I took it right away.
Wicked.
And it was, it was the most volatile time to start a business.
Yes. Yes.
Which intrigued me even more because when the odds are against you, it really gets me going, right?
Yes.
So I'd asked you, hey, like,
Same.
would you be cool to rent the room because there was already a room here,
Yeah.
and it, you can take some clients, whatever.
Mhm.
And you said, yeah, I'm down, fuck it. And I mean, luckily you were able to work, but you were at a couple of the clinics at the same time.
Yes.
So at that time, I think you were here 1 day a week,
Mhm.
and then now you're here 6 days a week. Yeah.
Now I don't go home.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I actually
This is your
live
home.
in
Yeah.
that room.
She pays
Which is
rent.
fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Why pay two type of rent? I just pay one rent
Yeah.
and sleep in the same bed. It's heated as well. It's nice. It's cozy.
Yeah.
I think for me, I have always had like a huge appetite for risk. I think if it's risky, like you said, it intrigues me more, or it excites me more, or I think like that just sounds like fun. Like if that's something that other people wouldn't do because it's scary,
It's an opportunity for
then
you,
it
right?
delights me. Yes,
Yeah.
I love it. I love the idea of like jump out of the plane and build your parachute on the way down.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I think, and I say this to everyone that asks, I think our biggest accomplishment is still being friends. Because I've seen so many people go into business with someone from their personal life, whether it's a friend, partner, family, whatever.
Yeah.
And that relationship sours, and it sours everything.
Yeah, it's like whatever original relationship you had with that person is far gone.
Yeah.
Plus the business relationship is shattered too.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
even that in itself was a risk, but at that point it's like, hey, COVID's happening. Who knows what's going to happen? Let's at least put our efforts to something rather than doing nothing.
Yeah,
I was going crazy. I think COVID came March 2020.
Yes.
I signed the lease November 2020. So not even a year.
Yes.
Even at that point, I was losing my mind. I was like, I don't know what's happening. I need something to work ahead at.
Yes.
And luckily this came into the picture, right? So.
Yes. My favorite thing was when you asked me to be your therapist, I was like, Jason, it's a pandemic. Like, I don't think we should open a gym. Like, I don't think opening a gym is a good idea. Mm-hmm. And you were like, I think we could do it. And I was like, what does your mom think? And you're like, my mom supports this. And I was like, shit, if you and your mom think we can do it, then I have to believe in it.
Yeah. I mean, she was more like, what are you going to do? Like, are you just going to sit at home and do nothing, or you take a shot at something, right?
Yeah.
She's super open to risk too.
Love it.
Because I guess she accepts that this is a real job now. Which as I was like, good.
You're not just a trainer now. You're a business owner.
Yeah.
That's real.
But though I feel like every trainer should view themselves as a business owner, because you are your own business, right? No matter if you're working for another gym, you're still working for yourself, right?
I absolutely agree. I think that's so important to keep in mind, is like, this is an amazing industry to work in. You get so much fulfillment because you're so close to your end product.
Yeah.
Person comes to you, you give them tools to change their life, whether it be strength, fitness, whatever, body image. For me, it's like mobility, being pain-free, having hope for life. I think it's an incredible industry to work in, but you have to know that unless you become your own boss, you will always hit a ceiling, whether it be growth, financial, whatever.
For sure.
Whereas when you work for yourself, or you think of yourself as an independent contractor or whatever, owner within your own capacity, that gives you such a wider base, or a better foundation to launch yourself, to like really grow.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
no, I agree with that, because it's not like you're doing everything to better yourself. People aren't, obviously you're working for another business at the time, so you're working under someone, but you're the direct contact with the clients. They're going to remember you because you're the face of that business, which is, you're running your own business. So that's really powerful. And a lot of people get caught up with, I'm just working as an employee mentality. It's just like, you got to think about the service you're providing, because that's your business.
Yeah.
Right?
Agree.
That's how we came to be.
Did. Yeah.
From the garage to here.
And I'm honestly, I will say that, like, I tip my hat to you, because Jason came to me. So my birthday is September 30th. So I had just turned 30. I was about to turn 30, or I was turning 29, I think, because that was 2020. Anyways, my birthday had just passed, which is always a good time to like reflect. You came to me with this idea. And then 6 weeks from the time I said yes, you had scouted locations, found the spot, renovated, painted everything meticulously, installed stuff, put the chalk, like, you did that. You fucking did that.
Yeah, man,
That's
I appreciate
fucking
it.
Sick. That's amazing.
I had nothing else to do.
Yeah, true.
But I had a timeline, and I finished building. I mean, we obviously had help from friends too, but they were employed. So I was here pretty late most nights, and I'd finished everything by December 18th. I think by December 20th, not mistaken, they locked us down.
Yes. Open the doors December 18th.
2 days of business, and then, okay, you're shut down. I mean, the fitness
Christmas
side.
Lockdowns.
And Christmas lockdowns. And I think it was until like maybe mid-Jan we opened up again. It was on and off for the first couple of years, which was frustrating.
Yes.
But that set the tone for the business. Like, if you can...
Yeah. Sorry, you said couple of years. I think months.
Well, I mean, sorry, like on and off. Like, so maybe we were open for 2-3 months, then closed for another 2-3.
Yes.
So that happened for maybe a year or two.
Yes.
So
yes, absolutely.
But that's
true.
Very frustrating, but it definitely set the tone. Like, if we can just make it through these times, we could, knock on wood, make it through almost anything.
Yeah,
right?
bro.
So it was a very risky maneuver, but I tell everyone, take the risk. Even if I fucking failed, I would have still said, hey, take the risk.
Exactly.
You learn a lot in the journey, right? So
I think so. And I always say, like, life is shorter than you think. Like, yes, we know objectively life is short. It's shorter than you think.
Yeah.
And you don't want to reach the end and be like, man, I really wish that we did that. I really wish that I said yes to more things.
Yeah, man. If I had waited, 6 months longer to sign the lease, everything would have went up, right? No one was opening businesses when I signed the lease, so I got not a great deal, but a good one at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely a good move.
Yeah, 100%. Last question. Oh, I think that was the last question, actually. What was the first year like? And that's it.
Wow.
I don't know how to end.
Viewers' questions.
Viewers, yeah, if you guys have questions,
call us at
1-800-237-2001. Alarm.
Really went home with that one. Funny enough, Alarm Force is owned by Bell now.
Oh no!
Because that's when I got the alarms to this place. I'm like, who does alarms? Alarm Force.
Yeah.
Like no, Bell does it.
They fucking made it. Good job. Tip my hat to you, Alarm Force.
Yeah, it's just embedded in your brain now.
Oh my god, that and like, I think we need to come up with a jingle.
No, I don't want to do a jingle. Fuck that. No jingles.
No. Chalk up.
I'm not doing jingles. Like, comment, subscribe to our podcast. If you're a young entrepreneur, we're going to have a lot of content for you guys. And we'll see you on the next one.